Welcome back, everyone. Lancescurv here, out in the sun, soaking it in, enjoying not only the rays of the sun, but time. Time is a precious thing for most of us, and most of us don't even have lots of time. When you think about how we live in the so-called modern era, we do things that are counterproductive to have more time. We purchase things that we feel are necessary, and we go above and beyond to impress people that don't care about us or what we have, only to compare themselves to us to try to outdo us. And that's not everybody, but that's most people. Now, excuse me for wiping my face because it's really sunny out here and I'm loving it. In my yard, in the privacy and tranquility, where you can really let your hair down, even if you don't have hair like me. But I'm glad to be here for another one. I promise more content, different types. And I wanted to speak about something in an abstract way. And if you do have access to your third eye, the gift of discernment, and your pineal gland, then you'll understand me. If not, this is just a bunch of quackery. The bottom line is that the only way, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, is to live a simple life. You can't go wrong living a simple life. Most of us, as soon as we wake up in the morning time, the first thing we do, even before we thank our Creator for waking us up, is we reach for the phone to scroll down the endless timelines of people we don't know and some we do know, to really see what problems they have or what they're doing. Not realizing that most people now, they will go on their social media page or pages and post things to impress people, to get validation, to show the world that they're living a perfect life as they get ready to go to work, to jump in their car and go to a job that they can't stand, to go and work 8 hours at least, if not more, with people they cannot stand, or people who all are wearing masks, so you don't know who these people are. But you shouldn't concern yourself with that anyway, because you don't go to work to make friends. And usually when you leave the job, the people that are there with you all of those hours, all of those weeks, months, maybe years, they don't call you. They don't reach out to you. Maybe a call or two from someone who you ate lunch with for a while, and eventually that fades away. And then you're thinking like, wow, all of these people that we made some jokes in the break room, talked about sports, they're gone from your life. And the stresses that we put ourselves through, if we wake up, we realize that it's unnecessary. The material things that we fight so hard to do work so many hours for, when you really look at it, you're trading your time for items, never thinking how much work time you had to put out to purchase that vehicle. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a car. All I'm saying is that usually we strive to purchase a vehicle above what we really can afford, and not always. Some of you are smart, and I know that. But when you consider how we waste money, really working hard to impress these people or to show that we are successful by somebody else's standards, and how much you put out simply for that, when you think about it, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. When you think, well, you say to yourself, even down to a movie app or some type of app that you use online, and say it's $20 a month, but you hardly use it. So what is that? That's $240? $240 a year. In 10 years, if you maintain this app, that's $2,400 for something that you barely go on. And it doesn't enhance our lives. We usually don't even have enough time to even sit down and watch a movie on one of those apps on our phone or on our computer screen or television. And when we do feel we have time, we take about 20 minutes to decide what it is that we want to watch. So even that's stressful. You're overwhelmed. I realize that growing up in New York City, the various jobs that I've had, you have people who are CEOs, or they have higher positions in the company. They make a lot more money. It's more stress. But guess what? When they get stressed, when they want a vacation, where do they go? They go somewhere where there's an abundance of nature, which shows me that we need nature, we need the downtime, we need the relaxation constantly, over and above what living in the concrete jungle can provide. Or even if it's not the concrete jungle per se, modern, especially American society, it stresses you beyond belief, and we don't realize it. So the time that we have to ourselves, we're recuperating from being overextended, and now we want to run to nature. But you can't get that replenished feeling in 2 weeks on a vacation. Even if you run to the Caribbean, you run to Hawaii, you run to Mexico, and many of us don't even think about coming over to the motherland because they don't advertise coming to the motherland. But there are people who don't look like me who love coming here, while their press and their media tell you that there's no beauty here, there are no amenities here, and it's primitive. The manipulation, that's a different topic. But we're so stressed beyond measure, and we hang ourselves. We're living most of the time to satisfy somebody else's blueprint for our life. I'm not saying it's bad if you have parents that want you to go to college and get these particular jobs and be successful. But is it something that you want to do? Is it something that you want to do that brings you being centered and inner peace? How many people do we know, even when you look in the reflection of that mirror, have inner peace? Now, I'm not saying that I'm some guy sitting up on a mountain and I have this perfect peace. This is the most peace in a daily routine in life that I've ever had, because I consciously positioned myself in a way that most people thought were foolish. And I'm just fine. I'm knowing myself more. I'm more of a friend to myself now. I know what I want and I know what I don't need. And like I said, I don't need to be trying to go to a standard to keep up with someone else because they have this need to possess more items, which costs more money, which keeps them away from having real time to themselves to do the hobbies that they want, or to simply sit down and enjoy nature and say, you know what, today I'm not going to leave my property. I'm going to sit out with the leaves and the bugs and the lizards and the fruits and let the sun hit me without external noise. We have so much noise in our mind when we live around people who are chasing what they call a dream, but is really a noose around their neck, thinking that this is going to bring them happiness. Happiness is not more stuff. How many times have we made a purchase and for a while the purchase felt good, but now we find ourselves surrounded with even more things and we still feel empty? That thing did not bring you the happiness that you thought, or to fill that void from the inside. Competing with other people won't do it, because the minute that you make a purchase of something, the goalpost is moved over, because now the car that you brought last year that you thought was so nice, you see another one even newer with more amenities in it, and you start desiring to have something more. For me, to have what I need on a stripped down level is good enough, because I don't have to carry the baggage of status, of what people expect me to be. Even my presence on social media, I've scaled back. But you know, the funny thing is, I'm doing more. And I'm more satisfied in what I do, because it's always come from the heart. But now it's more organic. I get my downloads and I speak about what I want to speak about, and I will oblige anyone who wants to speak on a certain topic. But it's nothing to chase. Not that I ever chased it, but I used to keep up even more. And when it started to be where I was trying to just merely please people, which is fine to make people happy, but you can't do it at the expense of yourself and your own happiness. It's got to come within. So if I want to post one video a week, I'll do that. I choose to do it every day because I have the time. And the time that I have with my, how can I say it? My routine and how I produce content, it's way better than it ever was before. So I can get even more done and have more time to relax. Yesterday, I took a ride to Adoso, and that's a little village down the road. Nothing modern down there. I don't even know if they have lights down there in the street when the sun goes down. They might have a light or two, but it's a village where everybody comes together and brings their fruit and their watermelons and their mangoes and their tomatoes and all types of fruits and vegetables and stuff that they may need. And there's nothing technological there, it's just basic. And I noticed that when I came home, I took a motorcycle home. I had a couple melons in this huge bag, and he rode, and he had the melons in front, and I had my bag of pineapples because I ate all the pineapples that I have in the yard. So I had to cheat out of the yard and go and get something from somewhere else. He blew a tire in the back, and so now I had to get off, and he had to go take a tire that he purchased from one of the guys that fixed tires on the side of the road. Their pump wasn't working, so he had to take the new tire to where he can get it pumped so he can continue on the journey to bring me home. And I said this on another video, but as I began to look around at my surroundings on the side of this road, I saw some homes that were very, very humble. I mean, these were very small homes that were the size almost of a room, made of cinder blocks, and it was very, very basic, so to say. And there was a well where you could pump to get water. And there were these smaller homes in the back, tin roofs, very basic. I'm being polite. And the kids that were running around, they were happy. They were by the well and they were pumping the water out, I guess, for their mother or father. And I saw some elders in the back sitting around. And the funny thing is, I was sitting there waiting for the guy to come back, and he took about 45 minutes. I don't know how it took so long. So I left my melons and stuff by the side of the road with the other guys. They weren't going to steal it. And the people that were sitting in the back around this little table called to me. And I went. And one of the ladies came with a pineapple that was cut in small pieces just to give to me. They don't even know me. And I sat down with them and we spoke. They spoke the native tongue Tree. They spoke English. It wasn't as proficient as my English was, but we had a wonderful short conversation until the motorcycle guy came back. And I told him I'll come back, right? And I'm gonna sit with them. And the feeling of joy that they had, sitting back there in very, very humble surroundings. I think about the people I know in America who have the latest phones, the latest gadgetry, the latest stuff, and they're nowhere near as happy as those folks that I saw down there, which shows me living a simple life, simplicity, without the burden of having to take care of material items, because you have a big house, it's more maintenance. You have this luxury car that may be stretching your budget beyond its means. You got to maintain it. You got to pay insurance for it. You spend on these clothes that are name brand so-called, and we found out that a lot of these things are made in China, inexpensive, sent to Italy where they stamp a logo on it, a brand name, and we buy it for so much. We feel that we have prestige when we wear these things. And we end up going to functions that we don't really want to go to. But many of us go to be seen because we have to be seen in our area of expertise, especially since we have social media cameras around us so much, right? It's crazy how we're made to think. And we indulge in conversations that are politically correct with strangers that we don't even enjoy, that don't even know us, that we can't even talk real with. We posture and we take pictures and we have to be here to be seen. No. That's very uncomfortable. I don't need it. I don't have to push myself on people that don't know me and don't care about me. And I have no interest in being around. For me, it's like a refill. As peaceful and as simple as you see me sitting here. Look, this is a joyous time for me. And I'll tell you another thing. I have many friends in New York City where I grew up. And I enjoyed the times of growing up and the memories we've created. And we call on the phone, talk on the phone, and we relive those memories and have laughs that you wouldn't believe. But that was that point in my life. I've matured and grown a whole lot. And I'm not saying that I would not like to be around my inner circle of close friends, of course. I wish I can see them every day, but I moved to another country. But also, I'm seeing the joys that New York could not bring me, or America could not bring me, by being able to get away from the noise, not even just the noise in the ear, but that noise of conflicting energies and spirits and people coming at you when they seem to not like the fact that you're content. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry for anything this world has to offer. I don't feel that a purchase or a status or more followers and subscribers, that's the internet game. I know that game. I've had on the old channel lots of traffic and people and all of this, starting all over again since they hijacked the channel. That was one of the best things that could happen to me, because I can start out rock solid the way that I need to. But this is to share my experiences. I don't need to try to make $1 million and keep myself up all night and try to be validated by people who peek in on you to see if you're still alive or if you're doing well. And when they see that you're doing well, they get angry. When they see that you have peace of mind, they get angry and they think about their own life, the issues that they have that they cover up from the rest of the world, and they're mad at you. Hopefully not. I'm good. There's even to the point now where with this emotional and spiritual contentment, I'm even eating less. I've started to notice that more now. It hasn't been months and months, but within the last few weeks, I realized I'm eating less. That I'm not driven by the routine that you have to have so many meals a day, and if I'm hungry, I'll nibble. When I'm tired, which is usually after the sun goes down at 6 o'clock here, 6:15, it's dark. Up in the mountains, it's dark. We have street lights here. I got lights on the inside. But nature takes over the rhythm of your body and you acclimate yourself to it, and things go to sleep when it gets dark. I push myself sometime on deadlines if I want to stay up a little longer. But when that sun comes up in the morning time, you're not staying in the bed late. That sun makes you get up. You hear the birds. You hear the insects buzzing around outside of the screens of your window. And you hear some of the cars going by on the road that's not too far. But you really don't hear that. All I'm saying is that I'm dancing to the beat of a different drummer. Simplicity is my drummer. A simple life, not one where I'm pressured to keep up with anybody. Not one where expectations have me reaching for things that I don't even want to be bothered with. I'm trying to make my life even more simpler now. I'm trying to make it where everything is reduced, where I don't need as much. I don't need as much clothes. I don't need as much this and that. And it feels so much better because I have more time to focus on the things that I need to focus on without the clouds in your head trying to figure out, well, if I go here, I need to wear this, and I have to have this particular watch on, and I got to put on my $800 shoes and get mad when nobody looks at it or says anything. What kind of life is that? And we're working hard to keep it up. We're on the job. For those who are working, we're on the job, putting in extra hours to pay for things we're not even around. You're working hard to pay for that rent or that mortgage or in that house that you're never in. I realized that a long time ago, that the only time I really enjoyed home, and this is in America, is when I was actually sick and had to stay home. And to enjoy a cup of tea while sick, not even in perfect health. I got the flu, or when I had malaria, I was sitting in different parts of the house that I never sat in before. You know how Florida will have houses that you have a living room and you have a second living room. I never sat in that second living room and relaxed and sipped some tea. I tell you, every day, I sip some tea in the house and I come out in nature on one of my balconies and I sip some tea under the sun, quiet and still, and let my mind be blank if it wants to be, or whatever I want to think. But creation is easy now because I have nothing in my way. Creating content or creating a wonderful conversation with someone who's sitting across the table from me while we sip tea or eat, it's a wonderful thing. And people are more receptive to you, those who are on a higher vibration. I do go down into the city, Accra, often. I do go to the various malls sometimes if there's things that I have to look over that I need to get, because doing stuff online, you need stands and cameras and mounts and connected wires and different things. So this being a hobby, and that's what it is, this is all this is to me, is a hobby, no pressure. I go down and I have to talk to people. And so it was a couple weeks ago where I met a very dear, good friend of mine who I consider a friend. We speak every single day. It's a young lady, listen to this part, it's a young lady who's a little older than me. No matter what age you are, you're a young lady. And we share pictures of our journey here in Ghana and the things that we want to do and the interesting things. And we met and we sat down and had a meal together. And then we ran into each other again and sat down. I didn't eat that time, but we talked. We exchanged numbers and have been good buddies ever since. If my vibration wasn't right, if her vibration wasn't right, that would have never happened. If I had this fog in my head of things that I had to push to get, and oh, I gotta go hard, and I don't see the beauty in life. Like right now, if this camera wasn't recording, I might be sitting here just like this to myself in the sun, thinking thoughts. I said to myself, let me share this reality with you. Let me take my time and talk so you can get a feel of the rhythm of how I live now. This is the noisiest it gets. Possibly if there's a truck that's going by because they're building some houses down the road, there's one being built across the street. And even then, it's not much noise. But the noise that we have to concern ourselves with is the noise in our heads, and the noise that society pushes on us, where we feel we have no choice to live at a different pace. And it could be done in the inner city, don't get me wrong, but you're gonna have to find some kind of nature. I don't care if it's a park, I don't care if it's a square, I don't care if it's a garden. You need nature. And the beautiful part is I have a lot of nature on this property, way in the back. Beautiful. But a simple life. To really look at the bugs that are crawling on the plants. To see the lizards as they run by. To see nature in its fullest majesty. It makes you feel that you have a place in this world other than being a number, meaning that you're replaceable on a job. You work these jobs and you don't feel fulfilled. You feel that you've been lied to. They tell you if you work so many hours, you can get a promotion, or work so many hours, you can get more, you can get a better write-up. You perform well, you'll get the promotion, which will make you more money and give you more status. But it's the biggest pyramid scheme on the face of the earth. The job. The job. And people toil believing in this system for years and years and decades. My dear sister sent me something last night, and it was so funny. I was gonna do, and I still might do, a whole entire program off of this mentality. And this was a corporate situation. And you had a person who was a higher up, supervisor, or whatever you want to call it. They had a handful of employees in this conference room. And this person, who was the higher up, she said, I'm calling you all here together to let you know how happy we are with the gains that the company has made. And I'm not sure in this particular skit, which was a cartoon actually based on reality, but the woman basically said that they earned in that quarter, I believe, countless millions. That was over and above any quarter period of time in the last several years, and how happy they are, and how they wanted to pass that on to say, let's keep up the great work. Let's continue to do what it is that we're doing to have the company make all of this money. Well, the lady went on to say, we're going to share our good feeling and good faith with you today. You won't have to buy lunch. We're giving everybody pizza today. The only thing we want to say is, while the pizza may be a day old, because when we had the real celebration with the CEO, this is what's left over, but it's still good. 1 day old pizza. And then she said, please, in our celebration, make sure to just take one slice, because other people have to eat and we might not have enough. What? And so one of the employees said, is it true that the CEO had a $3 million bonus given to him? And the supervisor, the higher up, said, well, yes. And that's because of the decisions that he made that helped the company to earn so much money. And so the woman asked again, well, if so much money is flowing, when do we get a raise? And the woman, the supervisor, quickly dismissed the question somehow by dodging it, by saying that's up to us when we have our reviews, but keep up the good work. You see how it is? How thankless a system it can be? But yet, when you put your weight and you put your hopes in a system that's not made to serve you, the job, their goal is to extract as much of your life force as they possibly can for their benefit. Your goal is to extract as much funds and money and funds and advantage while doing the least amount. And I'm not saying be a bad employee and go there to do less, but that's the game that they expect you to play shrewdly, because they're not giving you anything. Look at people who work on jobs for 25 and 30 years, and they're given a 14-karat gold-plated ring that you can go and buy anywhere for $10, if that much, and a pat on the head and a certificate that says, yes, you've been here for 25, 30 years, and we're so thankful. While all of your supervisors and higher-ups drive off in luxury cars that the company paid for, and they're passing you by while you're in a bus stop with your $10 14-karat gold-plated ring that'll probably turn green by the time you get home. You see? So you have to value yourself more than this wicked system values you, because they don't value you that much. The system is slanted against you. I think by now most realize that. People thought I was crazy when I spoke this way. They thought I was losing my mind. But now in this day and age, with the things that are about to happen, with the digital cash and credit system, the social credit, these things where they're saying AI is going to take over in another 3.5 years, none of us will have to work. None of us will own anything, or we'll be happy. You'll own nothing, but you'll be happy. What kind of mess is that? When you have to realize that even when they offer and say, well, work is optional. What do you mean work is optional? Who's going to take over our jobs? Right? Or AI. Well, then you're gutting mankind, because we're made to tend to the soil. Men are made to strive and conquer righteously. So if you take that away, and we have a society of idle people who have nothing to do, it's already moving towards Sodom and Gomorrah. It's going to move there faster. And the control that they seek to have over us. There are many things that are happening now that you just don't hear in the news. And it's frightening when you see how fast society is going down the tubes. But I have to say it, even though the Bible has been tampered with and used to control people, there's a lot of things that are spoken in that word that are true. And it seems as though we're on a trajectory to have that happen. And I don't want to be in this so-called modern society under their rules where they're having these passports that you're going to have or have it be vaccinated to be able to travel ahead of time, which tells me that they plan on something like they did where we had to wear the mask before. I want a simple life, y'all. I don't want to be caught up in this foolishness. I don't want anybody to have control over me like that. If I have to push and go way out in the woods somewhere, even more so, I left the country. Don't think I won't do it. I left America. There's nothing there that's holding me. There's nothing there that's seducing me. There's nothing simplified there. You lose yourself. You lose who you are. You get so caught up in the frenzy of what's going on and being bombarded with all of these things on your feed, and we're stuck to the phone and we don't vibrate with nature anymore. We don't even know who we are. Much less we have the responsibilities that are righteous of our mates, of our children. But we don't even see them anymore. They're caught up in the system and indoctrinated from young. So what's it going to be? What kind of lives are we going to live? It's already predetermined. But we think we have free will, but we don't. My free will is leaving it all alone. A simple life. I don't have to live under the dictates of what somebody else thinks I should be. I am who I am. I love who I am. I'm learning myself every day, and I love to spend quality time with myself. I'm going to take a day this week and every week where I have a digital fast, no phone, no internet, no shows, nothing. Several hours of that day will be silence. Lancescurv will know between these hours we're going to be still, we're going to be quiet. If you have to motion or write something down or whatever, just to keep our minds clear. We're clogged up in this modern society, and we don't even know ourselves. We don't even know what we like. We don't have the joy that we could have had in yesteryear. And I remember what it's like. Because remember, I was born in '63 in April. I'm 62 years old right now, and I remember a world without a smartphone. And when I think back on that world, I miss it. I remember a world without a computer, without an email, without text messaging, without YouTube. And you know what? I miss it. Because I find myself, other than the content creation, I find myself gravitating toward this less and less and less. This here, nature, I love this a whole lot more. The sunlight on me, recalibrating my sleeping patterns, my need for more water and not these juices and these artificial concoctions that people drink. No lust for the junk food, simple food, and not even that much. Coming back into what I'm supposed to be. We're made to live hundreds and hundreds of years. But that's been shortened and reduced so much. The earth is our medicine. Every plant, everything around us has a purpose for us. And we walk past it to go to the pharmacy to put in toxic substances and poisons that make us appear to be well, but it takes us 3 steps back. I don't want what's being concocted in this world for us as so-called human beings, but we are human. HUE-MAN. HUE, Hugh. And just like it was spoken on a video that was forwarded to me, there was a white woman speaking about how she just doesn't understand how many of us in the world have had to deal with discrimination and racism, which there be some people I've heard, they say racism doesn't exist. I don't harp on it, but it does exist. And it's systemic in the system. She said there must be something about you people, black people, African people, that's so great that they work so hard to make it hard for you and even get rid of you. What is it? So for me, I may not know the exact answer, but I know there's greatness inside of me. And I know the longer I stay in the system and bow down to the dictates of the system, what they think I should do and what they think I should think, it's reducing that greatness inside of me. And you've got to know that you have it inside of you also. But your positioning to the system will greatly reduce it. And you won't even be good for yourself. There's so much more to this life. There's so much more to us. And living a simpler life to me is like a camera where you're bringing it into focus. Because when you don't have that lens focused, you can't see what's in front of you clearly. You can't make it out. When you bring things into focus, even if you don't verbalize it, it makes sense. It feels right. Like I say before I leave, nobody ever learned how to ride a bike by reading a book. I'm not putting down books. Books are necessary. But intuition, the connectedness to nature and to God, that's the thing that we learn to have balance with, that no book can tell us. That feeling when you go to a shoe store, you might wear a size 9. But when you put your foot into the size 8.5, it feels right. So regardless as to what's on the box, it feels right. And it tells you that the box may say 8.5 and you're used to wearing 9. But guess what? These are the shoes for me. That's the way it is. That loved one, that one you commit to, the one who you truly love and she or he truly loves you. It's a connect that you can't explain. That you know that you want to commit to this person because they're the perfect fit for you, even though you still will have growing pains and disagreements and different things. It's like when I would look into the old Jet magazines and see people that were over 100 years old and they were married for 75 and 80 years. It's like, wow, what's your secret? We don't have much of that anymore. Shoot, married for 80 years, we'd be lucky if we were married for 80 months or 80 days these days. That's life, this modern life. What is it really doing for us? The happiness that was once felt, the depth of it all, it's shallow, it's fleeting. It's just something that most of the modern day individuals who are being raised up in this time, they just won't know. And even then it was being worked on to be reduced in my time coming up. And the people before me were saying the same thing that I'm saying now to the people who are younger. We enjoyed ourselves more in our day. We had a connectedness. See, we weren't tampered with as much. We're like one big experiment, one big science experiment, but we don't realize it. What is it, Campbell, the company? I found out, and if I have to correct it, I'll put it down below in the description area, that their foods are bioengineered. I mean, their meat is bioengineered. But nobody knows that. And it makes sense because are you buying your food from farmers or small companies where they make real food? And these people who make the food, do they eat the food that they make? No. These big corporations in the corporate boardroom, they don't eat the food that they make. It's all about profits for them. And you buy the food, and most poor people do. I'm not saying you're poor, but you're not flying around pretty much in Lear jets and okay, let's go to Paris and let's be there in a couple of hours. And you're leaving from America, you're going to Paris to go to dinner, you're going back to South America to go shopping, you're jumping continents. Like some people take the public transportation, that kind of lifestyle. They're eating the best, they have the best medical care. They don't care about you, they only care about the profit. More and more a reason to want to disengage from the madness and live a simple life. Simple as that. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, if it's not raining, and I doubt if it is raining tomorrow because we're entering the dry season, which doesn't officially start on December 1st, but as we get toward December, it starts to get drier and drier. So I'll come back to the same exact spot or maybe another scenic spot on my property, and we'll talk a little more. Let me know what you think about what I said and what I shared. And at one point, and at some points when I'm talking on these videos and I'm speaking from the heart, sometimes I don't even realize what I'm saying. It just flows. So that's why I like being in front of the sun and being out in nature. I'm gonna eat half a watermelon in a little while. One of the watermelons that I got from Adoso. And a lot of wonderful people down there living simple lives that they're full of joy. They were glad to see me. They hugged me, some of them. And within the next few days, I want to go back and refill on some of those fruits. Because like I said, right now, there's not much in my yard. I've given away so much. Lancescurv has given away so much to so many people. And this is a season where things are kind of going to be getting dry. So anyway, much love to you all. Salute to my brothers. Mwah. Much love to my sisters. Simplify, simplify, simplify. A simple life, that's the way to go. I can't push it on you. And you don't have to even leave and go out in the woods and go up in the mountains like I did, right? Like we did. But just to simplify it a little bit, slow it down a little bit, absorb time with your loved ones, put the phone down. This is how you're seeing me, through a phone, through a computer, through a tablet, but restrict it. Take a day where you get away from that. Take some time where you think to yourself freely and don't talk for maybe a couple of hours, and agree to this with your family. Show them love. Show some downtime. Have a meal with them. Connect, reconnect, and simplify. You'll extract more life, more joy, and more happiness with every single passing day. I can tell you that. And it's very addictive and it's wholesome. And it's not going to make you crazy and drive you into a mental institution because you're overloaded. Overload me with nature and I'll be better. You can never overload on nature, right? You can go to the pharmacy and take too much of their poison, which they call medicine. But when you're sick and you come out into nature and you take all you need, if you're eating that, even preventative stuff, the different leaves, the different roots, the different fruits, the different vegetables, it proactively covers you. So you have that glow and your nervous system is so relaxed and you're at peace. And I tell you, when you see somebody with a spirit that is off, or they have some type of feeling toward you on a negative level, you can spot that a mile away because you're at peace with yourself from disengaging with this world and the lust of this world on different levels. I'm good where I am. I'm very peaceful and every day is a blessing. Thank you so much for listening. Lancescurv out. On to the next one. Thanks for your support. Peace.
This is legacy approved. I had a vision before them folks had a clue. Thank God I still had ability when we didn't have a roof. I couldn't even think of stability, let alone had the tools to be making change. And it ain't that ancient a memory. Strange that I can't forget where I came, but don't know if they'll do the same and remember me till I'm painting a bigger picture, making some bigger figures. I can't get stuck in that lane that's deep, it'll be delivered. Trust me. I've been working in mercy, Lord, trusting my process of money. Looking for progress and pushing forward. Know I might fall while I'm running. I pick myself up sometimes and pay that pressure no mind. Cause ain't no way I can work this hard. And I know my time is coming.
Look, feet
feet all on the pavement, but these dreams were so adjacent to this rut that I've been stuck in, begging Jesus, can you save him? And the mirror start to hate him, cause I really know he faking. What's the point of shots you taking when your purpose you evading? Unhealed scars, heart is made of gold, but I feel bronze. Should wash the dirt away for newest day, but it's still dawn. Talking to my peers to make it clear, like who healed y'all? Was taking little baby steps at first, but I still crawl. Pain that's deep inside, that's been something I feel more. I know I should be working, but these days I just chill more. Stuck in solitude in my residence, the truth is clear as evident. Boy, you know you haven't sinned, don't need no more evidence. You all outside your element, cause you got too arrogant. Your soul is in a deficit, boy, you know you delicate. Get back on your regiment, so pick yourself up. This was good for your development, and that's real.
I've been working in mercy, Lord, trusting my process on my knees, looking for progress and pushing forward. Know I might fall while I'm running. I beat myself up sometimes and pay that pressure no mind. Cause ain't no way I can work this hard, and I know my time is coming. I've been working in mercy, Lord, trusting my process on my knees, looking for progress and pushing forward. Know I might fall while I'm running. I pick myself up sometimes and pay that pressure no mind. Cause ain't no way I can work